Hands up. Put your hands up. Put your hand behind your back. Put your hands behind your back.
Imagine a routine traffic stop turning into a bone-chilling investigation. In Louisiana, a speeding car leads to a shocking find. A lifeless body in the trunk. Who is behind the wheel, and what secrets does the car hold? Lies, deceit, and a missing person report intertwine, unveiling a sinister plot. Without further ado, let's get right into it. On July 29, 2020, a Louisiana police officer pulled over a speeding vehicle on the highway, initiating a routine traffic stop. However, the situation took a horrifying turn when a search of the car revealed a lifeless body in the trunk. The driver, identified as Mitchell, was not only driving nearly 20 miles over the speed limit, but also lacked a valid driver's license.
No, sir.
73 and a 55, so it's 18 over the limit. Do you have your driver's license?
No, sir.
Do you have a driver's license?
No, sir.
Then why are you driving?
I was just
Okay.
going.
These violations could result in fines of up to $500 and 6 months of jail time, not to mention the speeding ticket penalties. Unbeknownst to the officer, this stop would uncover more than just traffic infractions. During their conversation, the officer subtly inquired about drugs, hinting at Mitchell's potential involvement in more serious charges beyond driving under the influence. The officer's suspicions grew due to Mitchell's youthful appearance, excessive speeding, and the strong odor of marijuana in the car. However, as the officer approached the possibility of searching the vehicle for drugs, Mitchell's behavior turned increasingly suspicious. In the exchange, the officer engages Mitchell in a series of questions, trying to ascertain his destination and address. Mitchell's responses are evasive and unclear, raising suspicions. Despite Mitchell's reluctance, he eventually admits to getting lost while heading back home. The officer seizes the opportunity to request permission to search Mitchell's car, which Mitchell reluctantly grants. Unbeknownst to the officer, this consent will lead to a startling discovery. The officer's primary intention is to uncover drugs, particularly marijuana, within the vehicle. However, as the search unfolds, it becomes evident that there's more at play. While the front seats yield no results, the officer finds something unexpected on the car's exterior: several bullet holes on the left side. This discovery intensifies the officer's suspicion that Mitchell is involved in a situation far more serious and complex than initially assumed. During the interaction, the officer inquires about the timing of the events. Mitchell's responses remain vague and disconnected. When asked about the time frame, he mentions days. The officer instructs Mitchell to return and stand by the patrol car, while the officer makes a call. Apologizing for the interruption, the officer communicates with someone named Jesse about a speeding incident involving a black and orange Camaro with bullet holes on the left side. According to Jesse, Mitchell's brother had mentioned the car being involved in something 2 nights prior. Despite Mitchell's claims, the officer's investigation yielded contradictory evidence. The vehicle search doesn't yield anything significant, exposing Mitchell's falsehoods. Additionally, the address Mitchell provided doesn't match the official records, and the car is registered under a different last name, further deepening the suspicion that Mitchell is entangled in a web of deception. Mitchell's changing story becomes even more convoluted as he initially claims to live in Winsboro, but his address is traced to Richwood, while the car is linked to Monroe.
Making sure, he's saying he lives down here in Winsboro, but his address is coming back out of Richwood, but
Yeah, 41.
he don't even know the address down here.
His GPS device contradicts his lack of knowledge about his own address, exposing his deceit. The officer presses for the truth, questioning Mitchell's actual residence. Mitchell admits to living in Monroe and Richwood, acknowledging his deception. The officer challenges his dishonesty, asking why he attempted to mislead. Mitchell's response indicates that the officer's knowledge was already ahead of his lies. The officer warns Mitchell to stop lying to avoid legal consequences, and Mitchell now claims he's heading to his sister's place. Amidst this already perplexing situation, an unexpected development takes place. An unfamiliar man arrives, asserting that his family is searching for Mitchell. As the situation unfolds, another individual, referred to as Scooter, arrives on the scene behind the officer's vehicle. Scooter's presence adds to the complexity of the scenario. The officer questions Scooter about Mitchell, and Scooter explains that they were searching for him to relay a call. Despite this, Mitchell is using a different name, further deepening the confusion. The officer's initial traffic stop has evolved into a puzzling mystery, prompting his determination to unravel the truth. New information emerges. A young individual has been reported missing, and the car in question was taken from Monroe. Additionally, the appearance of the unknown individual seeking Mitchell's whereabouts adds intrigue. The officer acknowledges the need to determine if the car has been reported stolen or missing, and whether Mitchell's claim about visiting his sister is genuine. Mitchell asserts that the car was given to him by someone else and has a GPS tracker. Suspicion remains regarding the bullet holes, Mitchell's address fabrication, and the stranger's connection to the situation. Amidst this confusion, a new layer emerges. The officer is informed via radio about a missing person report, adding even more complexity to the unfolding events. Information starts to come together, indicating that the individual who granted Mitchell permission to use the car is actually missing. This revelation highlights Mitchell's deceptive behavior. Further investigation leads to the discovery that the car's owner's son, Michael Robinson, is the one who is missing. The vehicle itself bears bullet holes, adding another layer of intrigue to the situation. Despite Mitchell's falsehoods, his fabricated address being the only known lie, the possibility arises that he might possess relevant information about the missing individual and the bullet-ridden car. The officer is motivated to contact relevant parties for more insights. Subsequent calls confirm that the missing person is indeed Michael Robinson, who is supposedly the brother of the individual at the scene and the person who authorized the car's use. While the ownership of the car remains uncertain, the officer temporarily shifts focus from that aspect to examine the larger puzzle at hand. Who authorized Mitchell to drive the car on this occasion remains a mystery. While the ownership of the car remains unresolved, the officer temporarily sets aside that issue and proceeds to conduct a secondary inspection of the vehicle, especially with the presence of backup now on the scene. The officer observes the bullet holes on the car, which seem to be clustered closely together. This inspection promises to offer more insights. Unbeknownst to the officer, this is the moment where all the answers he seeks will come together in a horrifying and unimaginable manner. Taking necessary action, the officer instructs Mitchell to comply, ensuring he understands his Miranda rights. With hands raised, Mitchell is placed under arrest, and his hands are secured behind his back. The officer recites the rights regarding legal representation and remaining silent.
Put your hands up. Put your hand behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. Don't move. Do you understand? Don't move.
A shocking discovery emerges as the trunk is opened, revealing the lifeless body of Michael Robinson. The pieces of the puzzle fall into place. Michael Robinson, unrelated to Mitchell, had tragically become a casualty of an armed robbery Mitchell had participated in earlier. The officer promptly calls for a supervisor and coordinates with colleagues from the Franklin Parish Sheriff's Office. The situation is secured, the trunk is closed, and the details are communicated. The truth about the bullet-ridden car, Mitchell's false information, and the grim contents of the trunk come to light, painting a grim picture of the events that have unfolded. In a series of questions, Mitchell is asked about the identity of a person present, to which he identifies the individual as Mike.
Who is that? Who is that?
That's him.
Who is who?
That's Mike.
That's Mike. How did Mike get there?
The conversation takes a grim turn as the officer inquires about Mike's presence and how he ended up in that situation. Mitchell's response indicates that he had hit Mike, initially suggesting it was accidental. However, further probing reveals that Mitchell shot Mike multiple times during an armed robbery. Disturbingly, Mitchell then loaded Mike's body into the trunk of his car and planned to dispose of it in Winsboro. Unfortunately for Mitchell, his were thwarted when the officer pulled him over for speeding, inadvertently uncovering the horrific truth. As a result, Michael Mitchell faces serious charges for both the armed robbery and the second-degree murder of Michael Robinson. Currently awaiting trial, Mitchell is expected to receive a life sentence upon conviction. As we wrap up this case, folks, one thing becomes clear. Reality can be far more unsettling than anything we could imagine. From a routine traffic stop emerged a twisted tale of deception, murder, and a web of mysteries that gripped us from beginning to end. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content. Also, don't forget to comment below and let us know which things impressed you the most. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.